Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Due to some technical difficulties and me being sick, we're just now getting this episode uploaded. This episode was recorded last Monday, the day Bill Walton passed. We touched on that in the episode, and I definitely fumbled through it with no intended disrespect. So with that, we say RIP to the multiple former athletes we have lost in the last couple weeks. Thank you again for listening, and we'll be back soon next week.
Yeah, you need an initial hole. I don't care if my pants get wet. Where's the lid?
Welcome in to Keep It About Ball, bitch.
Just a splash.
Shitbag lizard people.
Bro's QB2 is Aiden O'Connell.
Bucks on Peyton.
Actually, when you add up the pick value, when you crunch numbers, who the fuck's Jennifer?
All right, welcome into the show. I'm Zach, and I'm here with Brady and Reed, my pals and partners. This is CBR the Zebra. Gentlemen, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing fantastic.
I don't know if you guys know, but we are only 14 weeks away from football season. Very exciting stuff. Yeah, I know. We will get into some football. It's Memorial Day here, and we're going to get into these NBA conference finals, the Royals, some Dynasty trade talk. But before we do all that, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the show wherever you're listening from, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or however. Being a small podcast, every subscriber and listener means a lot to us. So thank you for being here if you are. So today we're talking conference finals and a little bit about the Royals at the end of the episode. Like I said, some Dynasty trade talk too. But before we start, I'm sure by the time this comes out, you've probably heard NBA legend Bill Walton passed today. So, RIP to him and the best wishes to him and his family. Or not, I guess just to his family, not to him. That shit. Fuck. But yeah, best wishes to all of them. Can't talk NBA without mentioning the passing of a legend like that. So, best wishes to his family. But, so, going forward here, let's not waste any more time. I know the fans are excited to hear our T-Wolves Cancun predictions, so I'll go ahead and go first. So on a 1 week stay, I'm taking Anthony Edwards over 29.5 women in his hotel room. Anthony Edwards to run up at least one 10K tab at minus 230. It's a bit juicy, but it's a total lock. And so then I also have Rudy Gobert over 87.5. How tall are yous from locals and tourists both at plus 120. And then I also have Cat. I have a total lock with Cat. I'm taking over 8.5 voice slips on the week at minus 103. He's averaged about one slip a day in 8 of the last 9 weeks. And in just the last week, he has 2 days with multiple voice slips. One of those days being 4, which is just shy of his personal best at 5. So 8.5 in over a week span, especially when you think about he's going to be drinking, he's not going to be locked in. It's a total lock, and it's stealing from the books, in my opinion. Smash this bet before the books adjust and build that bankroll. So, Reed, I have the suicide hotline number for you ready to go. But before I give that to you, what are your Cancun predictions for the T-Wolves here?
First things first, I would like to say my friends are generational trollers. Sure. You can go fuck yourself. Just sum it up. But not looking good. We could sit here and nitpick it and break down this series and this game, but Mavs clearly the better team. For the most part, Cat really shooting the team out of the game. Had a really great first 2 series, was huge in the last series against the Nuggets, and then has had a generational stinker of a 3-game stretch, especially 3-point percentage-wise, if any of you guys have seen that stuff floating around the Twitter sphere.
That's hard to miss.
Ant finally had a pretty solid Game 3, especially compared to the first 2 that were just, part of the reason they lost.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it. You guys are gonna love this. Wolves in 7 until it's not.
Hey.
Wolves in 7 until it's not.
I've
been riding this wave. Been riding the wave, having fun with it, regardless of if they get swept or not. It's been fun. They'll be back next year. Ant 22, McDaniels 23, Nasri 24. Gobert still locked up for 2 more years. Cat's got another 4.
Please.
Conley just got extended for 2 more.
Back with Cat.
I think
Oh, don't
you
even
run
have
it
to
back
think
one more
about
year
it.
because Cat wasn't even healthy coming into the playoffs.
Yeah, and at the
There's
end
a-
of the last series, everyone, I even think I think everyone on this show actually was talking about how clutch Cat was to finish out that series and how he really stepped up late in
Okay.
that series to help end it.
He's
So you got to take that
one
into
game-
consideration too.
The one game, yeah, in particular for sure. But like I've been telling Reed for I don't know how long that they need to be trading Cat for other pieces,
That is
regardless
true.
of whether he
That is
stepped
true.
up or not.
Well, they were the number one seed
That's-
most of
I
the year
mean,
when he
did
was
they-
healthy. Then he gets hurt, misses 18 games. They would have been the one seed if Cat didn't have to have meniscus surgery and didn't get hurt.
Okay, then
100%
they
would have been the
had
one
to play
seed.
Dallas. Then they would have had to play Dallas a round before, and then they would have got bounced in the second round. I mean,
Maybe,
wouldn't have mattered. I mean, maybe. I mean, what do you mean like,
maybe.
They would have still had home court regardless at 1 or 3 seed. Dallas is the 5. It wouldn't have mattered. The Mavs clapped that ass. So,
Different
yeah, dude,
scenario.
Cat
Doesn't
the
necessarily mean
biggest
it plays out the
reason
same.
why- I mean, the way I see how it plays out the same as Cat's. I mean, the moment's too big for him. Obviously, he's just clunking it out there. And then Anthony Edwards, his future is really bright. I like him as a player, but he kind of just inexperienced in the situation.
If they get bounced, I'm not too worried about it. Wolves back next year, back better.
Oh, I think they have a good future. I just think if you trade Cat, you can get out of that contract. You can get a lot more pieces to build around Anthony Edwards. Maybe get him an actual true co-star to like
They don't.
rely on. You know.
Well, they're so young. McDaniels is still developing Nas Reed, and they don't have to
I'm
move
not
off
saying
of
they're-
Cat
I'm not saying
after
they
this
aren't good
season.
pieces.
He's still under contract like 4 more years.
I'm just saying I wouldn't pick Cat and rely on him going forward. I would trade him.
My thing about it is I say run it at least 1 more year. Run it back.
How many more years?
I mean-
You said you got Cat for 4 more years.
I believe so.
Yeah, I have to agree with Reed here. I think you run it back with Cat 1 more time. If you've got 4 more years, because like Reed's saying, you've got those young guys that are still getting better, and if you got to factor in if they're going to be better next year, if Cat can just stay as good as he was, that might be enough to get them to win like a conference finals and get to the finals next year.
I just think
Plus-
Nas Reed's capable of doing everything Cat's been doing, even better. Like he's the reason we're even in the games. You could replace him with Nas Reed and his production and get players like around. Like, dude, no, like I would not pick. I mean, obviously we're gonna disagree on this, but
Yeah,
no, yeah,
I'm not quite
you know
there
You know
yet.
how I feel about Cat. So, yeah, I feel you. I get that.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we covered that there. So over in the East, my Celtics are taking care of business as they should. I'm looking at you, Reed. Once
I mean, they're
Halliburton
trying
got
to.
hurt. Once Halliburton got hurt, I feel like it kind of pretty well became for a lock as a sweep. Even though Indiana has kind of kept it close in a couple of games, even that game 3 after he was hurt. But we came through when we had to. Tatum was clutch. Drew Holiday was clutch. Guys stepped up. It was a good sign. But honestly, I just don't have a whole lot to take away from it and a whole lot to say here because, like I said last week, I think our season kind of starts in the finals. And that's kind of still how I feel, especially with how this series has gone so far. So I guess, Brady, you go first. What's been your takeaways from this series so far?
Not much, really. Boston's just been the better team. Halliburton's banged up. I see the Pacers at 4 right now, but I expect Boston to more than likely close it out. I think everyone expected Boston to kind of roll through the East, and that's exactly what they're doing. Pacers, though, I mean, they got some young pieces. They'll be back. I like Halliburton. But yeah, no, nothing really else than just Boston's that much more talented, better coached, just better all around. And honestly, it's just their time. They're in their primes, and most of these Pacers players are like in their early 20s. But, yeah, Boston should sweep this.
Yeah. Reed?
All right, so my thoughts on the series and Boston's playoff run so far. Yeah, a lot of people expected them to pretty much steamroll to the East. The team they're playing in the Eastern Conference Finals, they have almost 20 more wins than. So
Yeah.
you should win this series with two
Yeah.
all defense team guards, top 7 MVP voting, Jason Tatum, stud,
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown. Porzingis not there, but he'll be healthy for the finals. When you're a team of that caliber, when you're a team that caliber, all those players, you should win. You should go to the finals. There's no reason, and nobody thought that they would have played so many injury-plagued teams, and I don't look at that as an excuse at all. It's part of the game. You know, if you play a team that's hurt, you play a team that's hurt. I mean, the Pacers played no Giannis, and only Dame played half the games. You know, it's out of control. You know, you play the hand you're dealt and do your best with it. But series should be over tonight. It's looking like Pacers might pull one out, but they've looked like that every game and blown it. So
Actually, haven't done a score check since we started recording. What's it at right now?
89-85. Yeah, challenge going on.
10 minutes to go. 10-13, yeah.
Yup. Well, hopefully, Boston, they do go ahead and finish it out here, come through, because the more amount of break time before the finals, the better. So, at least for them, maybe not for us, but for them, I would say so. So I guess what are we at here? Let's go ahead and touch on the Royals here real quickly. So since we talked about the Royals last week, they've kept their hot streak alive. Went ahead and swept Detroit in 3 games after sweeping the A's, which we talked about last time. In all 3 games against the Tigers, they scored 8 or more runs and only allowed 3 runs in all 3 games. They also took the first 2 against Tampa, 8-1 and 7-4, before ending that win streak against the Devil Rays, 4-1. They lost today again to the Twins, 6-5, which sucks. Dropping games against the Twins is an easy way to let them right back into the division and get them right back in the thick of things again. So I think it's pretty important they win these next 2 games. The Guardians, also, excuse me, during this hot streak have had a 9-game win streak going themselves. So Casey hasn't really been able to tie the division or take the lead of it. They've just kind of been hanging around, which, I mean, when you consider the other option, is pretty good, because that's a spot where Cleveland could have really pulled away if Kansas City wasn't hot or something like that. So, and they didn't though, so that's good. How are we feeling post hot streak about the Royals and going forward from here, guys?
Feeling good. The record's looking nice. Yeah. They almost came back tonight and did it. Scored 4 of their 5 runs in the top of the 9th and tried to mount a miracle win, and would have been really cool to see. Would have loved it, but not to be.
These Royals have some juice. For sure. Brady?
Yeah, I'd like to see them finish out the series here with the Twins strong. You can't let the Twins back in, right? I mean, they're already creeping on your tails, and they were on a hot streak, and honestly, they're going to have their ups and downs. They're a young team, but they will be in the thick of things, all year. So, looks like they play the Padres after the Twins series. So,
Yep.
I'm excited for Royals baseball, and they do after that Padres series. They will have the Guardians early June, so that'll be interesting.
It's gonna be a big
to see
series.
how they match up.
It's gonna be a big series.
That'll be I'm excited for that one for sure.
I will
But
definitely be
good
listening
time
to
be
all
a
those
Royals fan.
games.
Yeah. Try to catch a couple of them if I can. They're early starts though. One's in the afternoon, but yeah.
Yep.
You'll love to see it.
And I'm actually, I was, long story, I won't get into it, but there was a chance a couple weeks ago that I was going to end up passing through Kansas City today, and I was thinking about, I checked the Royals to see what time they played. I was like, if they play an evening game, I'm going to go. But of course, they played in the afternoon, and plus, I didn't end up having to go that way anyways. And I'm kind of glad because they lost, so I would have wanted to go on the day they won. But all right, so we're gonna go ahead and take our first break here, and when we come back, we're gonna get into some Dynasty trade talk. I think this is gonna be pretty fun, and I think maybe potentially fairly informative for you and your leagues if you're thinking about, how to value certain picks. You're, I think, gonna get 3 different perspectives on a couple of different scenarios. So definitely something to tune in for. We'll be right back.
Zach, do you think we're gonna get a trade done on the pod? Trying
That's
to move
a
off
really good
there?
question, but I actually doubt it. So let me pull up what I had here about these trades. So
Are you about to turn into a stat sheet nerd?
I wouldn't say a
Did you
stat
did you
sheet
find
nerd,
something?
but
Did you find
no, I
something
just-
out there?
No, but I just kind of thought about the trade a little bit. So originally tonight we were just going to talk NBA and Royals, but we've all been in trade talks, right? Well, not all of us. I guess I don't know if you two have had a trade going on with each other or not, but I've been in a talk with both Brady and both Reeds, so I thought we'd bring it up. So I guess Reed's offer first. I think it was on the show. I'd expressed interest in Zaire Franklin to help out my IDP section since we expanded that this year. And I think I did throw out, I think it was originally my idea, I threw out the idea of like a second round pick for him. And,
Cool.
after go ahead, what?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I specifically wanted your second round pick, and I threw
Okay.
Zaire out as a name.
Okay. So maybe that's how it happened, okay. But I remember I was fairly on board with it. I needed to think about it, but I thought it sounded good. But after thinking about it, I was like, would have been a bad deal. And you, Reed, what did I counter you with? I think it was a second, a fifth, and an eighth, right?
I think it ended up being my offer ended up being, because you didn't like, I think, Zaire first. I don't remember. All I know is it ended up being
let's go
Zaire
ahead
and a
and pull these
second and a
trades
fourth
up real
round pick.
quick.
Yeah.
So we can get it right. Because they should all be populated right in here since they're recent. Or actually, just go to messages, I suppose.
Yeah, I offered Zaire
Yeah.
your second and fourth round pick.
Yeah, 408 and 206. So, I think I responded to you on Snap. I don't think I officially countered it.
It was
I guess
Snap.
I didn't because it's
Yeah.
not here. But I asked you on Snap. I think I said a second, a fifth, and an eighth is what I offered. And you said no, you really wanted the fourth. But really, you should have taken the second, the fifth, and the eighth if you were wanting to get the second round pick that badly for Zaire, because at
I
this
don't-
point,
Remember that? Huh.
remember what?
The counter of second, fifth, and eighth.
I didn't send it through.
pretty
I just asked you about it on Snap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
On
just straight
Snapchat.
up don't even remember.
Oh.
Damn.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I did, and I don't think you like that. But after thinking about it more and putting it, sometimes I like to just type it out the thought and just see how it looks on there. Once you read it aloud, sometimes it sounds different than just thinking about it. So last year he was a 6th round pick, and he probably would have made it to 7, 8, maybe even the 9th round if I hadn't have started drafting IDP and screwing up the draft so early. In his current dynasty value or ADP in a dynasty startup is 111, which is the beginning of the 9th round. So at this point, I would give you a 4th and an 8th for him, and I feel like even that's potentially still an overpay, just because there are still plenty of good draftable IDP players out there. Zaire Franklin is obviously going to be top of the line there. But there's still, I still have TJ Watt dominating. I had that advantage at the defensive line. I have I had a top 10 linebacker in Quincy Williams, a top 20 in Robert Spillane. So I'm really just looking for, another one or two. And if I can find just, one or two that are top 20, in like the third or the fourth or the fifth round, depending on when IDP starts coming off the board this year, I feel like that would just be the smarter move rather than trading that high a draft capital for an IDP player. So yeah, I think it would be different if it was just a 3-round draft this year and the IDP availability was different. Like if this was like next year and after a lot of this IDP is saturated up and if there's not a lot left over, I'm not really sure just because I've never done IDP until last year and I've never obviously done this much IDP. So I'm just not sure how worth it is. So if it was like a 3rd-round draft pick, that's different because, he would have a higher premium on it. But with, there being so much availability, if he was in this year's draft, I think he would probably be a 4th or 5th-round draft pick, probably.
Yeah, agreed.
So I personally think the 4 and the 8 is pretty fair because you're getting the fourth round value, which is you're already gaining value from where you drafted him. You're getting value from where you drafted him, and you're also getting another late pick. And I don't think people should sleep on the 8th round picks in our draft. I think they're gonna be fairly valuable. I'm not saying everybody's gonna draft someone of value right there, but I think a few people will.
Reed, are you looking to get in the 2nd round?
Yes.
Well, I got 2 of them. So we can negotiate.
Yeah, well,
I'm down. Yeah, I'm open for business, man.
308.
Mm-hmm. Very, very valuable.
Yep. So I guess that we'll transition right there to the other trade, the trade talks that have been going on. So, this trade has me and Brady have been talking about this trade for probably 3 months now at least. I don't know, probably since basically the season ended. I think maybe since before the season ended. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, the trade we initially talked about and agreed to was me sending the 102 in exchange for 106, 203, and 303, which is a totally fair deal. I've actually seeked some outside opinions on that, and I found that maybe I'm even getting screwed out of that. That maybe I'm not getting enough. Is what one person said. I don't know. I don't really agree with that, but but Brady now wants a 3rd-round pick, and just the way I look at it is I'm not trading the number 2 pick in the draft for a couple of pick swaps and a 3rd-round pick. That's just
I'd like
not
to
return on my
explain my
value.
reasoning on that too. So I'm going to
Sure, go
rebuild
ahead.
here. And your initial offer, let me pull this up here, was my 1st-round pick, 2nd, and 3rd. I'm like, okay. So I counter just a 2nd.
All right.
And my
All right,
first.
I think we should mention the numbers on these there numbers are important, just especially since there are so many picks going back and forth.
So
you
the
have multiple
106.
picks.
Yeah. Okay, so the 106. Okay, so you're asking for the 1, 2, and 3 in a rebuild for me, and there's not much of a talent discrepancy between the 2nd and 6th pick for me to justify giving up multiple picks. I'm not trying to give the farm up for 4 selections. That's just not worth it to me. 4 draft picks, there's a good chance that there's a player there that I value almost as equally at 2 there as at 6. There's really not much of a difference, and it's just not worth giving up a 2nd and a 3rd.
It's a pretty decent sized difference. There's a pretty good tier drop off between the top. At once you hit 4, you go to that next tier. I kind of think.
I liked let's see, hold on.
I mean,
The
this
one
was
I
a trade
liked-
you'd already said sounded good and you liked. It was
Well,
106,
my
303, and
understanding-
203.
No, I didn't. My understanding was you said and a third when we were talking at Reed's. I didn't. I wasn't aware you were asking for a second round pick. Which I mean, I get it. I like the
Oh,
last.
it was
one.
always
Not the
it was always first,
not
second,
the-
and third. It was
not
always
the-
that.
not the very last one, obviously, but the second to last one was my favorite offer. The 208, the 303, and the 106 for the 2. I liked that one a lot. I was pretty close to accepting that one. And we're in negotiations, so I kicked back like, hey, third round pick swap maybe. I mean,
Yeah, but
I mean,
I can't do. You got to look at it like for me though. I can't do a pick swap for a
For
third
sure,
round pick
but,
swap,
like,
and
for sure.
the second round pick. That just makes no sense at all.
okay,
Yeah.
but then your last trade made absolutely no sense, which means ended negotiations right there, which I'm fine with.
I think
Yeah.
I think it made fine sense. It's the
2,
same.
the
Pick.
3,
It
the
was.
1,
It's the
and the
same
9.
trade that we had already agreed to a few months ago, and I even threw in a 9th round pick.
Yeah, but that's when the draft comes after. Like a few months ago, did like after draft season changes so much with player value and just like where they got drafted, and the depth chart's not even out yet either. Like these players gain more value over time, especially over training camp, and where you see they're at on the depth chart. Like there's a lot of value. I have a board I'm looking at. Like I'm following. Like I like that second to last offer a lot. Like I feel like we could have built off a little bit more. I mean, I was just throwing we're in negotiations, obviously you came and saying no, that's fine. I was expecting to build off of that one, and then you threw the other one out. I'm like, I can't do that. But we're months away too, so it's not like we're not going to pick up
All right,
negotiations
so
again.
since you were close with the for me sending the 102 and the one with the 208, the 303, and the 106, you said you were close with that one.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you send the 102, and I send the 208, the 303, and obviously the pick swap, the 106. That was the one I was very close on. So I felt
Okay,
like-
so what if I throw in the late round pick on that one?
How late?
The best I can do is an 8th.
An 8.
Yeah, I'll move up from a 9th to an 8th.
You couldn't do a 7.
I don't know. I'm already going down to the 208 on the second rounder from the
I
203.
feel. I don't know. It's negotiation. You know what I mean? All I gotta say is we can build off this. I'm intrigued by the 8. We can think more on that. I like that offer a lot.
Okay. What about a 208? Still with the 208. How about the first, an 8th, and Parker Washington.
And who?
Parker Washington. He's got a real good chance to take a step forward in Jacksonville this year. Maybe be like the number 2 or 3 guy there. There's going to be a lot of targets open with Calvin Ridley gone.
Okay, hold on. You would be sending, the 2 and Parker Washington for.
And an 8th, the 8th rounder.
So. And a kickback.
So the 2 picks and Parker.
So yeah, the
For
2,
the
the
3
8,
picks.
and Parker.
Yeah.
What position? He's a receiver, right?
Yeah. Second year.
Is he on your? Let me see.
He's not on taxi now.
I'm not gonna lie.
He didn't get a lot of playing opportunity until late in the year. He only got to play in a couple of games due to injury. But when he was on the field a lot, he was good. Shit,
my thing froze real quick. 1 second. Okay.
Let me see if I can pull him up.
I don't know if I particularly want him, but we're really close here. Like, I don't know why my thing just froze. Let me bring it back up.
Amari DiMarcado,
Oh, let me look.
handcuff for James Conner.
Do what?
DiMarcado, so you have the handcuff for Connor.
Yeah, I don't. He's gonna be the third back behind Trey Benson, though. I don't think he's gonna get much of a run at all this year unless they get major injuries. I'd almost be more interested in a receiver personally, but
I don't know who I'm gonna want to part with on my receivers here.
yeah.
After Parker, personally.
Yeah, understandable. I mean, you do got some good depth there. Okay, so where we're at would be the second to last. The 8th, you'd be kicking 2, 8, and a player. I mean, I don't even know if I fucking want a player, honestly, at that caliber.
I mean, you got to think though. He's a guy with upside. You know, if he does get a chance, you know, to like show his stuff this year, he might look really good. He might have a chance to be really good because I mean, he did have and just playing 59% of the snaps there late in the season. Had a 22-point game, 14-point game. Then he had some lower games, but that was also when I forget who it was came back from injury. I think it was Zay Jones, maybe, whichever Jones it is that was down there in Jacksonville last year. Yeah, I don't know. I think let me see when he was drafted in the NFL draft.
Do you have any kind of
That'll say a lot about
intel?
his pedigree.
Any kind of intel on who Derek wants to draft?
No, man, and I was looking for what's his Twitter handle. Because I was looking for that today and I couldn't
Here,
find it.
I'll actually pull it up for you. So we've talked a bit. Okay, he's fine. The official Gene Taylor fan club. Hold on. God damn it. Okay. The capital all official Gene Taylor fan club account at Derek Lickey. Love me some Gene Taylor.
Yeah.
He's a goof.
Yeah,
So-
well, we're gonna have to check. We're gonna have to scour his page, and definitely make sure to check and see because I have been very curious myself because I'm like that. I think that would depend a lot on just this trade going through too. You know.
Yeah.
I've thought
yeah.
about because
I
like
mean-
if it's obvious I have a
What's
pretty
that?
good idea of what if you get the 2 and 3 who you want to take, and if that person's not going to be there, yeah, I would understand why you wouldn't want to make the deal.
Well, I think everybody knows. I mean, first player I would select would be Malik Neighbors. If he's taking
Yeah.
I'd be a little upset.
I think you want to go Malik Harrison or Malik and then QB.
It's one of those two for sure. Quarterback's very
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
valuable, but it's all
Yep,
very
yep.
early, so. But yeah, just having that. I think we're really close. I like the 8th kickback. Yeah. I more likely will accept that offer.
All right. Well, we got about 3 minutes before we got to wrap this up. So, got about 30 seconds. Decide right now, or the trade's gone forever. I'm just kidding. You can. You can sit and think.
Oh god!
Say
It's like that
no.
one meme where he's like sweating at the fucking panel like we don't know what button to press. Like, oh fuck. Oh man.
Yeah. Verbal meme.
How about
Good
all right?
stuff.
How about you just kick me back CD and we'll call it a deal.
Yeah, Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no biggie. Sounds great. Deal done.
All right, man.
Just send me Dak and Lamar.
Fuck yeah, I'll just send you
Throw
my whole
them in.
roster. How about that?
All right,
Give you
sounds
all my
good.
picks. Oh shit.
For CD,
You
that
know-
sounds fair. Yeah.
Hey
I
man,
think that's fair.
actually, to be on a real note though, since Blake Corum's RB1 now, how much do you value Kyron?
Blake Corum's RB1 now. What? Huh?
Yeah.
Is that
Kyron
official?
Kyron can't even stay healthy. He's missing RDOTAs.
What are you
and shit.
talking?
He's a bum.
Dude, shut the fuck up. This fucking
literally.
guy.
You haven't heard about his foot,
You didn't hear about that?
What
Yeah,
happened?
Dude, he hurt his foot.
brother?
Bro, I sent this
Oh
on
yeah,
Twitter
yeah. I know
days
he's
ago.
having a foot problem. He had a foot problem last year. I'm not worried.
Yeah,
about it.
he's injury prone, bro.
I'm not worried about it.
I'm
I'm literally not worried about it. literally
You
not
will be
worried
worried
about it.
about it. You will be
You
worried
sure about that?
You better draft Blake
Nah.
Corum, bud.
You sure about
Kyron is
that?
Pressing
good.
that button. You better be running
Kyron
to Roger
is
Goodell
good.
with that card, bro.
Kyron is good. Don't you guys worry about Kyron. Kyron is
We're
fine.
fucking
You guys shut up.
really-
Trying to pressure,
we're really-
pressure me into spending
we're
draft
really
picks on
worried.
Blake Corum.
I would do it.
I'm sure you are worried.
I would be. I would be fucking scared. I'd be so fucking scared.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be scared if I tried to tank and still couldn't get the last pick, is what I would be scared of.
Shit, I didn't.
But
You know what? It's
on
gonna
that
work out
note-
anyway. You know what? Through that season, I'm like,
Make it
I just
quick.
want to fucking whoop someone's ass, and I played you, and I just had to. I'm sorry, I could not resist. But here we are.
Yeah,
Here
here
we
we are.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love the shit talk.
Me too.
It's great. Fantasy football season's back. I mean, I love that
Yup.
the draft just happened. We get all these conversations to talk about, all these players that are going places, It's fun. We're going to have a great off season to talk about all these things, and I'm just really excited.
Me
Really
too.
excited to
So
shit on all y'all.
You wish.
So on that note, we are going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Thank you again for everyone for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Again, please subscribe everywhere at ZBR Sports, which is also our Twitter handle. If you want more Brady, you can find him on Twitter at Brady Feldkamp. If you want more Reed, you can find him at MINN_sportsfan. And if you want to block me and tell your family to stay as far away from me as possible, you can do so at Zach Got That Dog. And with that, guys, we say goodbye to you guys for this week and see you guys next time.
Shitbag lizard people.
Bro's QB2 is Aiden O'Connell.
Actually, when you add up the pick value, when you crunch numbers, who the fuck's Jennifer?